One of the driving philosophies behind the Torah is to be a light unto the nations.
In your opinion, Judaism is the truth? Is that fair to say?
A truth.
A truth. So there are other truths around that?
It focused on one very specific set of criteria for a tiny little tribe in the desert. So Judaism is focused on Jews. There's what, 15 million Jews in the world? There used to be a lot less when we received the Torah.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's a way for this one particular desert tribe to live. There can be many other truths out there for other peoples and how they can construct their societies and build their societies. We're not a proselytizing religion.
Okay.
So it's our truth.
I'll come back to what I wanted to ask.
Can I clarify something there? Well, maybe we'll slightly not disagree, but I think complements. Where we have most of what Joe said is correct. I wouldn't disagree with him, but there's but which obviously I say everything before the but doesn't count. We believe that there's a component of our religion which is applicable to everybody. There's something called the 7 Noahide laws,
okay,
and they're applicable to all of humanity, and there are various things like setting up law courts to enforce these laws, the prohibition against murder, prohibition against sexual immorality, prohibition against idol worship. I forget the other few. Not to eat flesh from a live animal. And then there's another 606 commandments which are exclusively for Jewish people. And if you like, an extra set of responsibilities. So it's I guess, as Joe said, it's mainly focused on Jews, but there is a component which we believe is applicable, and that non-Jews will also be held. If we're talking here in terms of soteriology and afterlife and things like that, that non-Jews will also be held accountable for, according to where Jews will have to be held accountable for all of the commandments. There's these 7 commandments which non-Jews will be held accountable for.
And going back to the idol worship, do you guys, what's your take on Christianity and Islam coming after Judaism? Do you feel like it's surplus to, I don't know?
So one of the driving philosophies behind the Torah is to be a light unto the nations. What does that mean? It means introduce the concept of monotheism to the world. And the moral code that comes with that. Some would call it, it's been argued here, like some sort of innate morality that we all have within us. I don't necessarily subscribe to the 7 laws of Noah being actual concrete laws that other people have to abide by, because there's no real traces of it in other nations, but it's more that other societies should build moral, ethical societies.
So you're a guiding light to other societies?
So it's more than that. So when it comes back to Christianity and Islam, it's not a coincidence that they were born out of Judaism. The Quran quotes the Torah and the Talmud repeatedly. It mentions our prophets more than it mentions its own prophets.
As I was listening to your conversation, I was just like, there's so many similarities between Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Just as I was listening, I felt like I could...
And so my position on Islam and Christianity, they are an inevitable consequence of the Jewish idea of monotheism and being a light unto the nations. So while we don't go out and proselytize, the ethical code that is inherent within the Torah is then manifested through Islam, through Christianity, and I think both religions have done tremendous good in the world, and I'm sure there are people in those religions' names that have done incredible bad as well, but as a concept,
people are people, right?
Exactly.
Either you're good or you're bad, or no one's perfect. We can all aim to be good, we can all maybe take it down the other line as well. What about non-monotheistic religions?
So again, Judaism, so other religions, so we do have a concept of Olam Haba, the world to come, and other religions, they advocate that to go to heaven, you need to believe in Jesus. To go to Jannah, you need to accept the prophecy of Muhammad. Judaism doesn't make any such claim. It says, do righteous deeds, and you've got as much a shot at the world to come as a Jew does. It's about what you do in this world. So there will be pagans, idolaters that do incredible good in the world. And when I talk pagans, idolaters, I'm not talking the type that sacrifice their children and things like that.
My question was non-monotheistic.
Yeah, so that's what a pagan is. A pagan is a non-monotheist. Yeah.
Oh, so you think Christianity and Islam is non-monotheistic?
No, I think they're monotheistic. There's schools of thoughts within Christianity.
So if I can come in on this, so there's a very famous codifier of Jewish law called the Rambam, who lived in the Middle Ages, and when he spoke about Christianity and Islam, he said it's no coincidence if you look at the history of religions. If before the destruction of the Second Temple, all the religions are very much unlike Judaism, and he said if you look after the destruction of the Second Temple, all the religions that have come into the world since then, they're all based or derived from Judaism. And he said that, as Joe said, it's no coincidence. So we believe that's, well, he said it's because there's certain concepts that the world needs to have.
Yeah.
And these are a vehicle for sharing those ideas. Now, eventually, of course, if you're talking on a pure, like, epistemological level, then of course, like, you know, I don't mean this in an offensive way. But just to tell you what our genuine. We believe, for example, we don't believe that Jesus was a special person. Okay. We don't believe, you know, we were expecting a Messiah. We don't believe he was Jesus. We believe that for Muslims, that your religion is 100% monotheistic. So there's a rule. Jews are not, in general, are not forbidden to even enter a church. Because it's considered.
I didn't know that was a rule.
But there is within Judaism, there's a diversity of thought. So you have a rabbi called Rabbi Yaakov Emden. So on one school of Jewish thought, they say that Christianity is idolatrous because of the Trinity, which is the Islamic position as well. And the other school of thought says that actually, while there may be some confusion, it's still a monotheistic religion and we're still praying to the same God. So even within Judaism, there's diversity of thought as to how we approach Islam and how we approach Christianity. But the Jews are more of an inward-looking people.
So going back, so I think we agree that Christianity and Islam are both monotheistic religions, apart from what you've just said about possibly the Messiah and how that's perceived, right, in Christianity. My question was, what about non-monotheistic religions?
And I just responded that Judaism teaches that. So here's the absurdity of some monotheistic religions. Yeah, if I go around and I murder and rape everybody that I see, and then in my dying days, I actually know, to tell you what, I was a big sinner. I believe in Jesus, say a few Hail Marys, and then I go to heaven.
Sorry.
While as an idolater who every single day worships Krishna, whomever,
right,
but spends their entire existence
right,
helping orphans, widows, the oppressed, and they go to the hellfire?
Right.
What sort of a system is that?
Makes sense.
Right. No, okay. I just wanted you to expand outside of Christianity and Islam.
So and that's the Jewish position. The Jewish position is do good deeds in this world, whether you're a Jew or a non-Jew. Just be a decent person.
Yeah.
And also, even if you take something like, for example, like the Hindu religion.
Perhaps I wasn't quite following you before.
So if you take, like, I think Hinduism is probably considered by a lot of people to be not to be a monotheistic religion. But if you actually look into, I studied Hindu philosophy, that there's a lot of ideas, or a lot of pointers within it that they say they don't look at these. They look at these not as individual gods, but individual manifestations of God. So if you like, almost like an expanded Trinity.
I've heard that, yeah.
So.
Okay.
And we also have a tradition that the Eastern religions are based also on Judaism. It's based on a biblical verse.
I've heard that Brahman could be from Abraham.
Yeah. So we have it's interesting you say that, because our tradition is, there's a line in Genesis. It says that Abraham, before he died, gave everything that he owned to Isaac, and then he sent gifts to the east. So they asked, what is it? If he's given everything to Isaac, how can he give gifts? He doesn't own anything. How can he give gifts to other people? So they say, what is the only thing that you can give away and still retain is spiritual wisdom. Yeah. So he said that he sent messengers to the east with spiritual ideas.
That's great. Thank you. I've learned a lot. I really appreciate your time. My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed, nice to meet you.